Hang on, Emmett. Hope you're ready for a big breakup. Emmett?
Thanks again for your assistance, Detective Parker.
Detective? What the hell is Kid doing here?
Nothing criminal, I assure you. I was just getting a mind map of Mr. Tannen for our exhibition at the expo. The authorities wouldn't allow Edna and I to stage a demonstration of the mental alignment meter with a violent felon, but this little baby is just as good. Okay, let's see now what's next. Check the stew, sort the maps. Ooh, I almost forgot that.
Edna really is cracking the whip, isn't she?
Well, yes, but she's got my best interests at heart. Without her, I can get so distracted. Did she send you down here to check up on me?
Yeah, she wanted to come herself, but...
She's busy too, I know. Well, you're a poor substitute for Edna's lovely features, but make yourself at home.
Thanks.
No thanks are necessary. Without you, I'd never be where I am now, in love with the woman of my dreams, and a mere 6 hours from my first public triumph as a scientist. Wait a minute. 6 hours? Jumping Jehoshaphat, I'm running out of time!
Hey, Emmett, need a snack?
Desperately. What is it?
Some sort of algae cake. It's supposed to be nutritious.
Oh, I've heard of these. Oh, they better be really nutritious.
How does the mental alignment thing work?
Here, I'll show you.
Hey!
The test subject wears this mind mapping helmet, which probes the brain by measuring fluctuations in skin conductance and electrical resistance on the surface of the parietal lobe.
Uh-huh.
When I turn on the mind mapping helmet with this radio switch, the subject is exposed to a series of visual stimuli, intended to provoke a series of positive or negative responses, as indicated by these lights on the helmet.
Hey, is that...
As the responses are recorded, they're relayed to this special typewriter, which prints out a punch card that represents the subject's mind map.
All I see is a bunch of holes.
Well, to you, maybe. But to our mental alignment meter, this mind map is nothing less than a peek into your subconscious. Observe as I place your mind map into the MAM.
Layabout. Is that machine calling me a slacker?
No, your own physiological responses did.
What's this?
The mind map cards from the dozens of subjects I've tested during the last few weeks. I've got to get them sorted before the expo begins.
Why?
Edna's got this grand scheme to catalog all of Hill Valley citizens by their mental alignment. Isn't that cute?
Not really. Phew.
Ugh, did the clamp fall off again?
Yeah.
Put it back on. Oh, I don't even know why I keep that bacteria tank around. Every time the clamp falls off the nitrogen tube, it takes a couple of minutes before I can get the stench out of the air. Whew.
What's this?
That's a can of used motor oil, rocket fuel waste, and assorted chemical sludge left over from my abandoned rocket car.
Gross.
Accounting doesn't enter into it, but it is disgusting. Would you mind disposing of it on your way out?
Sure. How goes the bacteria farm?
Not so hot. The bacteria have kind of gotten out of control. Had to put a clamp on the nitrogen tube to keep the stench from flooding the lab.
What's this typewriter do again?
During a mental alignment test, it takes messages from the mind map helmet and turns them into punch cards, like the one for Mr. Tannen over there.
Seems complicated.
Actually, it was all rather easy to put together, once Edna gave me the idea.
Sounds to me like you should be working on harder problems then.
What? Sorry, I've got to get back to work.
Nothing happened.
Well, that button advances the slides during the mind mapping test. It only works while the test is running.
Hey, Emmett, what's cooking?
That's an old Brown family recipe for Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer.
Rabbit stew. The trick is to add the cumin an hour after the carrots. Take a whiff. Isn't that just about the best thing you've ever smelled in your life?
It's, powerful, yeah.
I've got it on a slow boil for later.
What's this?
It's the placard we'll be putting in front of our booth at the expo.
The scientist that caught Kid Tannen?
A small exaggeration, but Edna says it'll attract investors. What do you think of the picture?
You look a little... constipated.
What? Edna said I looked intense.
Yeah, intensely focused on taking it.
I get the picture. I'll have to find a better one. Unfortunately, there's a lot to choose from.
Heavy.
Extremely. Mother has been rather obsessive about photographically cataloging my life. I'd be careful of that if I were you.
Why?
The rocket fuel experiment must have stripped one of the teeth in the hand crank. As a consequence, if you turn it for more than 10 seconds, it...
No!
Turns out an electric shock.
Hey, could we watch Frankenstein on this?
Sorry, Sonny, but I need this projector to trigger positive and negative visual stimuli for my mental alignment tests. Besides, a movie like Frankenstein should really be watched on a big screen, don't you think?
The mind of a degenerate criminal.
That's Kid Tannen's mind map, as captured by our mind map helmet.
You could tell he's a criminal just by looking at this?
No, but when it's fed into the mental alignment meter...
Weird.
Weird nothing. It's science.
I Don't Care by Trixie Trotter?
Edna doesn't approve of that sort of music, but I find it very soothing. Oh.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent.
Hey, Emmett, I've got an idea.
What?
Why don't I take your photo album over to Edna so she can pick out your new picture?
That's a great idea. She's got a better eye for these things than I do anyway. Thanks, pal.
Don't mention it. Hey, Emmett, got a sec?
Why, yes. In fact, I've got several.
I don't care if I do get the mean and stony stare.
Is all this new stuff what you're showing off at the expo?
Yes, it's our mental alignment meter.
Mental alignment meter? I thought you were working on some sort of rocket car.
Oh, the rocket propulsion system was far too unreliable, as that incident with Einstein proved. By the way, whatever happened to Einstein?
I wish I knew.
Anyway, I started tinkering with an alternate method of propulsion, but that was before things started heating up with Edna. Our conversations about the possibilities of applying technology to social ills pushed my research in a whole new direction.
What's a mental alignment meter?
It's the most revolutionary piece of technology since the cotton gin.
What does it do?
It reads and interprets the subconscious desires of the human mind.
Why would you want to probe people's minds?
Why wouldn't you? Imagine being able to diagnose mental disorders with a flick of a switch, or detect the truthfulness of courtroom testimony merely by connecting a witness to a small portable device.
Your machine does all that?
Not yet. Frankly, right now the whole thing's just a gussied-up potentiometer. But with years of refinements and a whole lot of investors, the MAM will be able to identify countless psychosis and neurosis, alcoholism, acrophobia, Oedipal complexes.
And?
And then we can set about curing them, of course.
Of course. Anyway. Did you make a mind map of yourself?
Of course. Take a look.
Edna's right. You are a model citizen.
At least as far as my invention's concerned. Confidentially, this whole enterprise is a little light on the hard science and a little heavy on the smoke and mirrors.
Hey, what's with the new threads?
Do you like them?
You look like Colonel Sanders.
Who?
Never mind.
Edna gave them to me. She says my usual clothes don't have enough zing for a public exhibition.
I can't believe you invented all this in 2 months.
Well, like I said, there's not really a whole lot of inventing going on here. I just dressed up a $5 potentiometer with a lot of bells and whistles.
But
Don't get me wrong, it does a remarkable job of telling whether a subject is currently liking or disliking what they're experiencing. But all the extra stuff about sorting out criminals from model citizens is mostly a bunch of hooey at this point.
how are things between you and your father? I'm kind of surprised he hasn't torn down your lab yet.
He's still angry with me and threatening to cut me out of his will, but I'm hoping that the civic potential of my mental alignment meter will win him over.
So, you and Edna, how serious are you guys?
Well, we both enjoy a good joke every now and then, but I'd say on the whole we're fairly serious people. Why do you ask?
No. What I mean is, how serious is your relationship?
Oh, well, as a scientist, I can't state this with 100% confidence, but I'm provisionally certain that I'm head over heels in love.
Really? With Edna?
What can I say? She's my muse. In the week since we've been courting, she's given me so many wonderful ideas.
Are you sure Edna's the right woman for you?
What do you mean?
Don't you think she's a little controlling?
Controlling? Edna? No. She's just giving me a little much-needed guidance. Before I met her, I was such a flibberty-gibbet, always getting distracted by the slightest stray idea. But now, thanks to Edna, I stay focused on the task in front of me, like a narrow-band stream of stimulated photon emissions. Focused!
Isn't she a little cold?
Don't let the schoolmarm exterior fool you, buddy. Edna's got enough warmth to raise a liter of water from 0 to 100 degrees centigrade. Know what I mean?
I kind of wish I didn't. I don't know. I just think Edna might be a little dangerous.
Oh, I agree.
You do?
Like all independent women, she's a danger to the patriarchal status quo. That's one of the things I love about her. She shakes things up.
You have no idea. I just think you should be careful, that's all.
Thanks for the concern, but I'll be fine.
I still don't think Edna's right for you.
Oh? And who is she right for? You?
Me? No way.
Relax. I'm just yanking your tibia.
What do you say we take a break for a couple of hours and go see a movie?
A couple of hours?
Actually, it may be more like 70 minutes.
I haven't got a couple of hours. I still got all these mind maps to sort, and the MAM's wiring is still giving me fits, and...
I get it, you're busy. You sure you don't want to take in a movie? I think you'll like it.
Strange as it may sound, I've got more pressing things to think about than going out to movies.
Okay. You look busy. Why don't we talk later?
Sure thing.
Emmett says this album has pictures of him all the way back to when he was a baby. Ugh, I hope this stuff doesn't get stains all over my guitar. If you squint, it almost kind of looks like a big diamond. That's a good thing these things never caught on. It's my skateboard of the future. Well, from the past. I still got some work to do. I still got some work to do. Tannen's mind map. If Emmett's map looked like this, I bet Edna wouldn't think he's such a model citizen. I'd swap Tannen's card with Emmett's, but it's got Tannen's name on it. I'll just have to generate a new mind map for Emmett. I'd swap Tannen's card with Emmett's, but it's got Tannen's name on it. I'll just have to generate a new mind map for Emmett. If I'm gonna take Emmett's mind map, I better replace it with another one. Mind if I...
Go ahead. Ah, that'd be Mr. Needleman's card. I'll just put this in the stack with the other hooligans.
Looks like you got a lot of hooligans.
Yeah, about 90% of Hill Valley thus far. It's a little disturbing.
Looks like you got a lot of hooligans.
Yeah, about 90% of Hill Valley thus far. It's a little disturbing.
This button only works while the mind map test is active.
That smells good.
Ew. This button only works while the mind map test is active. According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps. Hey there, you stinky little bacteria. No! This button only works while the mind map test is active. When this is all over, I better make sure to get Emmett's photo album back to him.
That smells good.
It's a picture of Edna. Since Emmett's got the hots for her, I guess she's supposed to provoke a positive response. According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps. Ew!
Oh.
Looks like you got a...
Yeah.
If I'm gonna take Emmett's mind map, I better replace it with another one.
Ah, that's the stuff.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky and say I am plucky, so jolly and carefree. I don't care if I do get the mean and stony stare. If I'm never successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't care.
Ah, that smells much better.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. See, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care.
According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps.
What people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky and say I am plucky, so jolly and carefree. I don't care if I do get the mean and stony stare. If I'm never successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't.
So this machine takes those little cards and tells you whether or not someone's a good guy or bad guy?
Kind of. Actually, the helmet does all the work. The mental alignment meter is just a glorified arcade machine.
So why not just go with the cards?
Edna says that people respond well to flashing lights and snap judgments. I can't argue with that. Every time I kiss her, I see flashing lights and lose all sense of judgment.
No kidding.
I don't care what people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky and say I am plucky, so jolly and carefree. I don't care.
Ugh, I hope this stuff doesn't get stains all over my guitar.
If I'm never successful, it won't be
Hey, Emmett, I've got a... Whoa!
distressful.
Whoops.
What the heck?
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. Your suit's ruined. Edna's gonna be royally PO'd.
Wrong.
What?
When Edna gave me this suit, I realized that the probability of me keeping it clean was infinitesimally remote, so I spent a few hours whipping up this.
Whoa! What was that?
A chemical compound capable of wiping the grime off any surface.
Emmett, you'll make a fortune.
Not anytime soon, I'm afraid. Due to an inherent instability in its molecular makeup, after 12 hours, the cleanser's component chemicals break down into a series of cloth-shredding enzymes, rendering it unsuitable for commercial use.
Wait a minute. Does that mean your suit's gonna dissolve in 12 hours?
Hey, gods, no. The solution dissipates into the air after it's applied. But it does mean that after this batch of cleanser ages another 11 hours and 53 minutes, it would eat away this suit faster than 1,000 starving moths. And that would be a crisis of unimaginable proportions.
Why?
Because this suit belongs to Edna's grandfather, who wore it on his wedding day. Poor guy was gunned down just a few years later.
Emmett?
Well, enough wool gathering. Back to work.
That cleanser doesn't seem very portable.
It isn't, but this is.
A perfume bottle?
Yes. No. I mean, yes, it's a perfume bottle, but inside is a concentrated dose of my all-purpose cleanser. With a little luck, this should last me through the next 12 hours before its component chemicals break down into a series of cloth-destroying enzymes.
Clever.
They say I'm crazy, got no
What the hell is that?
but I don't
What?
care. They may or may not
Sorry,
mean
I thought I saw a tarantula.
I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care.
No, don't turn it off.
I don't
This is my
care
favorite part.
What people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky and say I am plucky, so jolly and carefree. I don't care if I do get the mean and stony stare. If I'm never successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't care.
Wait, I know that. That's John Wilkes Booth, the guy that shot Lincoln. So I guess he's supposed to be a negative figure.
But I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am
Emmett?
my own
Yeah?
superintendent.
Hey, how'd my
star
mind
is
map
on
test get
the
activated?
ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky.
Could you tell me how this mental alignment meter works again?
Of course. Now, pay attention. Subjects put on the mind mapping helmet, which I activate with this radio switch.
Check.
The subject is then exposed to a series of visual stimuli provoking positive, negative, or indifferent reactions that are recorded by the mind map printer.
Right.
Once a mind map is completed, it can be inserted into the mental alignment meter to pronounce judgment on the subject's mental state.
Okay, I think I got it. You get back to work. We'll catch up later.
Thanks.
According to Emmett, this thing... Ew.
Ah.
Ew. This button only works while the mind map test is active. This button only works while the mind map test is active. Swapping out Emmett's mind map with a crappier one is a great idea, but I should probably scan it with a mental alignment meter first. That's not a great reading, but if I really want to get Emmett in trouble, I better aim for the bottom. Ew. According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps. Trixie. I don't think Edna approves of her, so I guess she's a negative figure. Guess it's already stinky enough in here. Ew.
Oh.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what people think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky.
According to
They
Emmett,
say
this
I
thing
am
prints out
lucky,
mind
so
maps.
jolly and carefree. I don't care. I
Looks
don't
like you got a lot of hooligans.
if I
Yeah, about 90% of Hill Valley thus far.
if
It's a
I'm
little
ever
disturbing.
successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't care. They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I
Ew.
don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care.
Ow!
I don't care.